What's up guys, welcome to another Destiny 2 news video. In this vid, I do want to go over the 8 Barons that we're going to be facing in Forsaken and their backgrounds. So just a little background of how they came about. So the Barons were once a hodgepodge of lowly dregs cast out from the upstart of House of Exile on the Moon, forsaken and scorned by their own Elixir comrades, and with no one to depend on but each other. They didn't just survive, they thrived with ingenuity, ruthlessness, and teamwork. They raided their fallen brethren, encampments, stealing ether and growing ever stronger. They pillaged and terrorized Awoken outposts throughout the post-Taken War Reef. So this is kind of what happens after the events of the Taken King and maybe during the Rise of Iron as well. Following the Red War, which is the beginning of Destiny 2, the notorious K6 and a small elite posse of the most trusted Guardians assisted the Regent Commander, which is Petrovenge, haven't seen her in a while, in cleaning up the reef from the pirating of the Scorned Barons. At a standoff as a legendary as a gunfight at the OK Corral, the Scorned Barons were defeated. Most were killed, but 7 of the original 8 were captured and tossed into the deepest, darkest cells of the Prison of Elders at the time. And with no corpse found for the last guy, like, no one knew what became of the heretical warrior priest known as the Fanatic. And that's the first guy I want to go over, the Fanatic. Essentially, he's the leader of the Barons and the dark corruptive evolution of the Elixir known as the Scorn. He's second only to Prince Aldrin Sov, which, as we know, is like the big bad guy of this expansion. He views his Scorn as an evolution of the Fallen and the final manifestation of what they were always meant to be, which is like eternal, like kind of like the Hive. Like the Hive really aren't dead. They die and then they go to the Ascendant Realm. They could come back, all that great stuff. So the Fallen have kind of made their own version of that. So the history behind the Fanatic: he was once a prominent Archon priest of the long-lost house. The Fanatic preached heresy to the machine-worshipping Elixir and paid a heavy price, docking, banishment, and starved from the Fallen's life-giving ether. So instead of what most Fallen do in Destiny 1, in the beginning of Destiny 2, they kind of worship like servitors and their machine gods and stuff like that. This kind of worships, I would say, coming back to life and stuff like that. So in any event, after falling in with the Barons to become their warrior priest, he continued his anti-great machine, I would say, religion, and instilled his brothers and sisters a belief that the old Elixir must finally die as they were supposed to in the Whirlwind, which was this huge event that was supposed to knock out all the Fallen. But this is basically in order for them to rise better and stronger and eternal. Next up, we have the Machinist, which is second in command to the Fanatic and his most adherent follower, basically. Expert in munitions, weapon crafting, and in charge of the siege on the Redacted, which we don't know what that is, but she is an insatiable thief and a hoarder with a terrifying arsenal. So we know that this enemy is female. That's kind of interesting. So the bandit started life with nothing. Since then, she's hoarded just about everything she's ever taken, other than what she's actually shared with the Barons, of course. But second in command to the Fanatic, as I said, she's a scourge of the Cis-Jovian and the Cis-Martian space, raiding ships and encampments and making off with any operational weaponry. As you could tell from the footage, like, obviously she has like this huge missile launcher thing on her back. You could see like one of the Arc Striders blocking in one of the clips as well. So you could tell that she is very highly modified with all the stuff she's got. Next up, we have the Mindbender, a mad genius who's been changed by his research into the Hive and their dark religion, and has somehow found a means of exercising control over Hive combatants. So the history behind this guy: as a starving, runty little dreg, the Mindbender fell into the Moon's Hellmouth, where we went down to face Crota. He's never spoken an intangible word since, but his time in the Hive's domain changed him, gave him a lifelong obsession. After years of study, he found a way to carve a throne world of his own from the Ascendant Realm. So somehow this fallen drag has somehow modified himself with Hive technology, somehow got into the Ascendant Realm where like Oryx and Crota were, and basically created his own throne world and now can command Hive. That is freaking crazy. Next, we have the Trickster, a silver-tongued manipulator and con artist with a high opinion of herself. The Trickster has a penchant for deadly sleight of hand and prefers to work behind the scenes when it comes to the Baron's operation. She does all she can to stay out of sight and is known for duping others into doing her dirty work. So again, we have a female, but this time it's not really an aggressive Fallen. This is more like a sneaky Fallen. So the history behind her: when the Barons must negotiate or trade, which is almost never, they send the Trickster. She is their bard, their spokesman, their envoy essentially, and their first strike. So the world of the Trickster is one of a constantly moving chessboard to protect the reality that she is in fact a coward with little to no skill in battle. While others hone their ability to fight, she honed her mind. You can see from the clips, like, obviously there'll be something like a power ammo block or like a thing of glimmer or a stack of exotic engrams, and then it'll turn into a trap. So that's kind of how she does that to trick us, and that's kind of funny, to be honest. Next, we have the Hangman. This is like the Hulk of them all. It's pretty insane. So a silent sadist known for his penchant for talking and tearing ether generators from the cores of servitors with his bare hands. His obsession with torturing servitors is unprecedented in the history of the Elixni. So just going over the history, no one knows why the Hangman was abandoned at birth. Some say his parentage looked into his eyes and knew what he would become. Others say their cruel deed sealed his fate. The Hangman doesn't just kill his victims, he hurts them. So he has a specific hatred for servitors, the fallen machines created in the Traveler's image who enforce the fallen hierarchies by deciding who eats and who doesn't. His physical rejection of Elixni tradition is ultimately what drew him into the Fanatic's inner circle, but whether it's for belief or sadistic opportunity has yet to be determined. So essentially, he was abandoned as a child, right? And he didn't get to eat because the servitors determined it, and he realized that they were made in the Traveler's eye, so he hates the servitors, hates the Traveler. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. Next we have the Mad Bomber, a bombastic thrill seeker for whom self-preservation is an afterthought. The lunatic known as the Mad Bomber is willing to blow an entire location to smithereens just to kill his target. So essentially this guy is the psychopath of the group, right? Every I would say group of bad guys needs that crazy person. So no one knows where the Mad Bomber came from or how he got here, because even he no longer knows. The Mad Bomber now lives simply day to day and bomb to bomb, constantly chasing the adrenaline high of a fiery explosion. A few too many near misses and concussive blasts warped whatever was left of his already addled mind. Next we have the Rifleman. So an all-seeing sniper who watches his brother's barons' backs, the Rifleman keeps his targets at a distance, plays real dirty, and never misses his shot. Brilliant, cold, and patient. More than one of the Rifleman's notches is a Guardian's ghost. So what he's saying is that this guy can snipe a ghost out of the air. Like, if you remember seeing the E3 trailer where Cade's ghost gets sniped, I'm assuming that was him who sniped it, so that's kind of messed up. So the history behind him: since the Barons first ganged up, no one has ever managed to get the drop on him. Like, that's because the Rifleman's keen and well-tuned cybernetic eye always watches their backs. When not haunting the shadows, he is said to hold down the hills of whatever territory he claims as his own. Aided by a surveillance network no one could penetrate. Cross that threshold and you're as good as dead. No matter where you hid, his bullet would find you, Guardian or not. Lastly, we have the Rider, anarchist biker and leader of her own gang of pike riders. The Rider raises fields and pollutes the air wherever she and her gang run. She's a master mechanic who's taken the fallen heavy pike and made it better, much, much better. So it seems that for this boss fight specifically, we're gonna have to fight her on one of these new upgraded pikes, so that's gonna be pretty awesome. So a little history: the Rider's fiercely loyal gang is gathered from the remnants of old houses, outlaws, and lone wolf nomads. She gave them a pike and a purpose, and in exchange for every member is prepared to ride or die for their fearless leader. For years, the Rider's gang has been a bane in the asteroid belt, seeking to replace any semblance of the hierarchical ranks that failed the Fallen long ago, and with unrelenting chaos, she breeds nihilism and breeds anarchy. Alright guys, that's some history and some crucial information on all of these upcoming Barons that we're going to have to face. Obviously, as you can tell from the clips, these are going to be from adventures. So, as they said, Bungie said that this isn't a linear campaign, so you can go after whatever Barons you want before you actually fight Prince Aldrin in the final battle, I'm assuming. So you can basically fight whichever one of these guys you would like. If you guys want to help support me, there'll be a link below, say best way to support me. I'll take you to a 4-minute video. If you want to go check that out, that'd be greatly appreciated. But if you don't want to do that, you can always like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video, turn the notification bell next to subscribe if you want to be notified when I drop some new content on the channel, and then comment what y'all want to see below. Again, I'm making content for you, so whatever you want to see, I will try to get out there. Obviously, with update 1.2.3, we're obviously getting some exotic buffs. We're obviously getting prestige raid layer, like curated loadouts. I definitely want to go over some of that stuff in depth some more and get some footage out to you guys, obviously. And yeah, I will be dropping some new Forsaken information as well. Also, we have the Discord link below. If you want to join the Discord, that would be awesome. Like, there's no requirements. You don't have to be part of the clan. You don't have to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can just join it. We have some chats going. Obviously about Destiny 2 Forsaken, some upcoming games like Division 2, Anthem, some stuff like that. And then we have some voice chats where actually Nightfall and raid with some of my friends, some people in the clan, some people actually join. So if you want to join that, that'd be awesome. If you want to talk to me, that'd probably be one of the best ways to do it. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. We'll catch you next time.